So today's video, we didn't do an intro for. The camera ran for probably 5 minutes before Katie and I even discussed a topic or decided on a topic. Probably one of the most spontaneous conversations we've had. At some point during the video, I actually forgot the camera was even there. Katie and I were really deep into a genuine discussion. It would add value to the everyday person as well as the worker or business owner or what have you. So enjoy the video podcast, if you can, give us a follow on any of the social medias. Subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel. We'd certainly be grateful, that's for sure. Hopefully you find value in this video, and let us know what you think. Hit us up on social and talk to us. Let us know how it's going. Thanks. Enjoy.
I guess we're both feeling kind of achy and tired today.
Yeah. What's our topic today? Ooh, what about, this is a genuine question somebody asked me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
How do I not get in a rut?
Yeah.
And I told them I do.
It happens.
Just because I don't, talk about it, I do. You want to do that?
Yeah.
We can do that. Can you come up with some shit on the fly for that? I can't.
Yep.
I'm not good at getting out of them.
Not good at getting out of the ruts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we talk about an example of a rut too. This is
good.
That looks like
a writing rut, or just an internal funk kind of thing.
or both.
Yeah.
Here's some examples of some ruts you might find yourself in.
I know a lot of times I'll stay up late at night knowing I have to work, but I can't really focus on a starting point, and then my night is trash after that.
Yeah.
I consider that a rut because I had 2 hours to be productive, but I can't find it in me to take the first step that's going to lead to the next.
Yeah. I think your ruts are harder too because you have a limited time. And then there's pressure on that time.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll come up with some things you can do when you feel that way.
Don't drink bourbon. That doesn't help the rut.
Yeah.
Because usually that's my solution.
Are we filming right now?
It's filming, but
cool.
we didn't announce anything. We didn't
Okay.
introduce ourselves. So
Yeah,
I could clip that in.
I mean, basically, for my ruts happen when I'm stuck in the house too much, and I'm gonna work at home all day. But if I do that for 3 days in a row, I start to get
gotta get out. Different atmosphere.
So having
change your
social
environment.
interaction, changing your environment, having a morning routine, I think is really important. And if I feel stuck, then I need to stop and go do something else.
Yeah.
So brain-wise, when you're feeling stuck, concentrating on the stuckness or trying to force yourself through it, well, I'll do the opposite. So I'm all right, I hear you. I'm gonna go do something different right now, and having those tools handy.
That makes sense. I'm keen on changing the environment kind of thing, but because of my lack of time and I have to do a lot of it at night, I can't really change my environment. I can't midnight just bail.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. I try to talk myself out of it, and I feel if I just stop, I'm doing even more of a disservice, but not really because I'm not getting anything done anyway. But I can't fall asleep either. It's frustrating. I don't know. But anyway, a couple weeks ago, one of my old students messaged me on Facebook before we even started this. And they were like, hey, Jensen, dude, I'm stuck on this project and racking my brain kind of thing. I'm in such a rut, I can't figure out how to fix this code, is what they were asking.
Right.
They needed a second set of eyes, but it got deeper into what's going on, why are you so frustrated?
Yeah.
Because if you have minimal stress, your ruts kind of minimize as well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think because I look at it, I get in a lot fewer ruts now than I used to because I look at everything differently. And so, like, from a spiritual standpoint, what you're asking for isn't a way to fix this code. It's like a way to not feel frustrated. So if you don't want to feel frustrated, what is it that you want to find? What you're asking for is clarity. We see possibilities I can't see.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like the way I would handle it, or the way I do handle it, is I recognize what it is I'm looking for in that moment, and then I focus on asking for that.
Yeah.
And I'll go do something else, and I'll make it my intention to like ask the universe to help me with that. And it almost always breaks through.
Do you find that it's really not about the task at hand?
It's never about task at hand. It's about the way I'm looking at it.
I see. I never really thought about it that way until now. Like when I get stuck in my rut and I'm frustrated and it's at night and I know I have to write or I know I have to email this person, but the words aren't flowing on the screen as well as they should, and I don't want to send a half-hearted email. You know, it has to be strategic. And it's like, fuck, I know I'm good at this. You know, like I love copy. I love copywriting. I love the strategic emails. I could do that shit. But when I can't do it, I'm like racking my brain, and I haven't stopped to think it's not what's going on the computer, it's something else. Like I never stop to like find the root. I'm at the surface level of why aren't my fingers going?
Yeah.
Right now, why can't I freaking type this?
Harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I came up with that, how we talked that one day about content creation, and you have your main topic and then your bullet points. So I came up with that, you know, to help me write even when I'm not in the mood to write, but that doesn't stop the rut. You know, it's that when your brain isn't bought in, it doesn't stop it.
Yeah.
I want to punch my laptop sometimes, and then I realize my laptop is expensive, don't do that.
Yeah. And then it's about looking at, the cause of that. The rut is typically caused by some like underlying emotion. So I'm angry, or I'm frustrated, or I'm bored, or I'm fearful that if I don't do this will happen, and I'm going to try to motivate myself by pushing through and writing for 2 hours when my brain really just wants to go do blank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's about saying, okay, like I'm going to... Sometimes when you give in and say, I'm going to respect what my body and my brain needs right now, like the next day you get the clarity and the motivation. But like trying to push when you can't just tends to cause more frustration. And then you get in a bigger rut because then you associate those hours at night or whenever you have the time with feeling the way that you feel when you do it. And then you're more likely to feel it again,
Yeah.
And then it creates kind of like a cyclical kind of negative association.
So it's kind of like sitting down again the next night at 10 p.m. to do the same thing. It's already in your head that it's not going to work.
Oh yeah, that's frustrating. And then you're more likely to feel that way. And,
And then you have 2 nights of non-productiveness.
Right.
And the next day you're going to be even more pissy than you were the day before.
Right. Yeah, and I think like working out, this is like a kind of a prime example. Like when we started working out like 7 years ago, and those workouts were super hard, and they're still super hard. But at the time, I was a much different person, and like the thoughts that were going through my head when I was working out would be like, oh my god, this is so hard, it's so hot out here, I can't do this, I'm gonna die. Like, and so every time I go to work out, I was like, this is gonna be so hard.
Yeah.
It's like, this is brutal, but it's good for you, so you're gonna do it. But like, did I enjoy the actual working out part? No. Like I like hanging out with you, but it was like, it was all based on thought.
Yeah.
And so when we reconnected last year, all I would concentrate on was breathing and would count like when I was doing things. And then eventually it was like filled with like more upbeat thoughts and and now I actually enjoy the work part.
Sure.
Because I just changed the thought stream in my head.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would be like, oh god, I have to go work out now. And some days when I'm tired, I'll just tell you that. I'm tired and I'm not going. My body wants to take a nap.
Yeah. And
instead
then,
of being like, you need to go and this is your time, and I'm like, no, my body's saying no.
And then there's days like today where it's just like, I want to do it, but let's just keep it light.
Yeah,
let's just get through it and just active recovery almost.
Right.
Yeah.
And that felt a lot better than coming in here and being like, no, okay, you're gonna push, you're gonna lift heavy. I would have been like in my head, I would have kept it quiet, but it would have been like, instead of just saying what you need. So I think part of it is like having faith that what you need to do is gonna get done.
Yeah.
And that sometimes the time isn't always right, but you will find the time. And listening to that if it's just not there.
I think I have that in fitness. I think I need to take what I have in fitness to business because like in fitness I don't schedule rests.
Yeah.
A lot of people are on a 3-day. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday I work out. It's triceps and this, it's biceps and that, and it's legs and this, and then I have off on the weekend, and then I start again my 3-day split.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, and they schedule their days off. I don't. I listen to my body.
You
What?
do it intuitively.
Yeah, I listen to my body, so
Yeah.
I'll grind hard, maybe for 14 days straight, and then I know, you know what, if I take 2 days off to recover, that's okay.
That's what I need.
And then I'll wake up one morning, my body, I'm feeling pretty good. Well, okay, then I'm gonna go to CrossFit. So I see how it relates, like
Yeah.
how
The things that we're
the
most
mindset,
afraid
yeah.
of are the topics or subjects or areas of our life that we hold the most fear and doubt in. We tend to like rely less on our intuition. So if you have like 5 main areas of your life, and you have like family, you have health, you have like finances, you have relationships, you have like physical health, you have work, whatever it is. A lot of those like we feel pretty confident in, and those are the areas that we work intuitively with.
Sure.
We don't worry about it too much. We know we're good at it. We know it's going to handle itself. It'll get done, and it always does.
Yeah.
It does because we believe it will, because we believe in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The areas that we have fear and doubt in,
Like
the
my
ego
abs.
jumps in, and it's like, oh, this is never going to work. I have to do this now. Or we put pressure on ourselves that way, and then it makes it harder to perform, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
And we don't rely on our intuition, mostly because we're afraid of what will happen if we don't do this today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So anything motivated by fear is going to tend to put you in a negative cycle. It's going to probably put you in a rut. So it's important to look at the root of that fear, and then kind of coach yourself through it.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't unlike anything else. I know that I am able to rely on myself. And if today is not the moment I'm going to write this, I know that I will get it done. And like, breathe through it. But yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah, and honestly, just looking at it and saying, yeah, I'm afraid if I don't do this, this will lead to that, and just examining that fear, because that means everything you do is driven by a belief system about it. And even if you're not aware of what that belief is, it's in the driver's seat. So you have 2 choices. One is to ignore it and try to push yourself through it, or 2, to examine the belief system, even if you don't really want to look at it, and think, oh my God, when it comes to this, I'm like driven by fear of blank, 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 blank. Acknowledge it, and then say, well, what would be a better motivator?
Yeah.
I want to be motivated by blank. And every time you're in that situation, that's your intention, and you concentrate on it, and eventually it will become your motivator. You can choose your thoughts become your beliefs, so you can change your beliefs, and beliefs drive everything.
Can I believe that like eating chocolate at midnight is healthy?
You can make yourself believe that.
And would it be true?
But what is true? You know, like very few things. For something to be totally true, right? It has to be true 100% of the time.
I just want an excuse to eat chocolate and peanut butter whenever I want.
If you said like it's okay for me to eat this when I want it, you might not want it as much. Like,
This
I'm
is
just gonna
true.
Take a bite of it. Like, okay.
So, if I'm up at midnight, knowing I have to write and I have to push out some content, instead of thinking to myself, you got to get this content done because if you don't, you could potentially be a week behind on, production, and your funnel is going to be 2 weeks behind. And so instead of saying that, change my thinking to, I should really get this copy completed because I know 2 people that it's going to bring a lot of value to. So as opposed to punishing myself for being 2 weeks behind on something, make it about
Positive
somebody else because they deserve that value.
Yeah, or even like I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, and this is where like for me the self-care comes into play, because I'm gonna go listen to a 5-minute guided meditation on like clarity or on like clearing my mind, and then I'm gonna come back to it and think like I love to write and I'm good at this, and I'm gonna sit here and like let it flow and not overthink it, and then just start writing. You know what I mean? But taking a brain break is important so that you can separate that thought pattern, give it a second, instill the new one,
Yeah.
and add value. So you don't want to, the voice in your head shouldn't be threatening, which is what like, you're going to be 2 weeks late and you're going to, like that's not right.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to be motivated that way. If you are your own boss, then that voice in your head is your boss, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, don't talk to me like that. Like, that's not helpful.
That's true.
I might get it done, but this sucks. I don't want to work for you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you make me feel like, 1, I'm incompetent. 2, like, the pressure of having to get this done right now is making it impossible for me to think.
Yeah.
So, like, when in your body, when anything that produces or provokes anxiety or fear puts your body and your nervous system in kind of like a fight or flight response pattern, right? And even if it's mild, that kind of pressure and that kind of talk makes you feel like, I have to do this, right? It's like a cortisol response. When you're in that state of mind and your body's doing that, it's draining blood from the side of your brain that controls executive functioning, which means like being creative and coming up with a new way to look at something becomes impossible.
Which is like my entire life revolves around that side of my brain.
Yeah.
So it hits me like a Mack truck.
Yeah, and it will stop your ability to think and be creative and look at things in a new way. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
That your first step is calming your nervous system and coming from a place of feeling grounded, then you can access that. You have blood flow there. Once you get into feeling the pressure and the stress of it, you literally can't access that part of your brain.
Yeah.
So it's like running your head into a wall. It's really hard.
So if I get, this happens, like frequently kind of, you know, especially if it's late at night and I've already had a really long day. If I'm pushing like a 10, 12 hour day and then I find I'm up at night trying to accomplish some more tasks, it happens almost all the time. And I think it has a lot to do with my day fatigue, right?
Yeah.
But if I had 2 hours left in me because, you know, I'm just not ready to go to bed or whatever, if I put on like, you know, prepping for CrossFit and stuff like that, we do a lot of mobility stretching. If I put on a 15-minute video and I just stretched for 15 minutes and kind of prepped and took my mind away from that and focused on the other part of me, like my physical as opposed to my business. And then, so you're saying that possibly after that, by removing the thought process of the struggle to this, and then I might be able to go back to it and find the productivity, find that creative side of my brain.
Yeah. So giving yourself that break, doing something like the stretching too, you're controlling your breath, so you're bringing your blood pressure down, it's helping your body relax, it's putting you in a calm state. So deep breathing is always good because your body's telling your brain, well, I'm relaxing.
Yeah.
So your brain's gonna start to follow suit. And then even doing like a few minutes of meditation after that, focusing on how you want your workflow to go that night. Like, I'm capable, I'm motivated, I'm energized, I'm focused, whatever it is, come up with one or two things and repeat them over and over again. So after 17 seconds of thinking a thought, you invite in supporting thoughts of the same nature. And after 57, you formed a new belief.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a belief is just a thought we thought repeatedly.
I need to work on 17 seconds. I have like in my head ADHD, so after 5 seconds, I'm like, squirrel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll work on the 17
Right.
seconds before anything else.
Yeah, and it tends to be like the things that we stress and feel fearful about are the ones that would tend to draw our attention the most, and so we're inviting in typically thoughts of that nature.
Yeah.
Because we tend to hone in on what could go wrong more than focusing for long periods of time on what could go right.
Yeah.
Right? And so taking those 5 minutes to control your attention and your focus and how you want it to go is going to start inviting in other thoughts that support that. And then you can get into that mind frame so that when you're working, you're actually getting shit done. And it's not miserable, you know? And even if you tend to get sucked into like, you know, the negative spiral and you're like, what about this? The easiest way to get out of that is like gratitude. So writing a gratitude list for 2 minutes straight and like thinking about everything you're grateful for and how it feels to be in those experiences of gratefulness. It literally is just shifting your brain in a new direction. And then you go into work. But trying to work from a place of worry or stress or pressure is like, you're just short-circuiting yourself.
You might regret this because at 1 o'clock in the morning, you might suddenly get like power text messages from me. Like, Katie, I'm so grateful for you.
Oh, yes, send it. That's great. That's totally fine. I'd be like, yes.
Trying to sleep, Jensen. That's really nice, but leave me alone.
No, love it. I would go right back to sleep. I don't have a problem falling asleep like at any time. So I'd be like, okay, great. And then I would go and have a nice dream because I'd be like, that's really nice. Yeah, gratitude dream.
Well, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try the next time I'm pissy and wanting to punch my computer. I'll get into a mobility routine and I'll try the think happy thoughts for 17 seconds kind of stuff. That's difficult for me. I don't like necessarily being in my own head like that. I like being distracted somewhat. So that's going to be a super hard challenge. I go to bed at night. When I go to sleep at night, I fall asleep like listening to a book. Because if I lay there, it's like my own thoughts keep me awake. So like the times that I have attempted meditation was really difficult because I don't necessarily like being in my own head. When I do guided meditation, I have somebody talking me through it. It's easier. I'll try the 17 to 20 seconds and I'll see how it goes.
It's a practice, and so it's supposed to be hard. So people that are like, you know, I sucked at meditation, well, everybody does. And like even when you do it all the time, some days I have days where my mind is all over the place. But the idea is that you practice it enough because whether you like it or not, you're always in your own head. And the other thing is if you're tending to get pulled into the thought bubbles and things that are causing you tension or stress or whatever, then you need to also get in the habit of substituting those, and that's when meditation comes in. So you learn how to control your focus. So even those other things, you learn how to switch back to just being in the present. Because no amount of overthinking things is really going to shift that. So yeah, you're always in it. So if you accept that and then you think, all right, I'm going to make friends with that so that I can start shifting out of these thought cycles that are focusing on things that don't make me feel good, then
Kind of like that movie Inside Out.
yeah.
I think there's anger and there's joy, and I gotta make friends with them all.
Yeah, I mean, and just know that like when you do that or when you're focusing on the things that you like, the happy thoughts kind of thing, it might feel weird, but you're always focusing on something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you're focusing on the things that aren't giving you a return or that are stressing you out, then they're not getting you anywhere.
Does it make sense? So like if I'm stuck in my head and I'm frustrated about something, is it shifting to thinking about the goal as opposed to the moment? Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? Like if I sat there and I thought, you know, the end goal of this project is this, and that's gonna bring like an accomplished feeling and stuff like that, as opposed to the immediate.
Yeah, I mean, and I go even broader with it. So I tell like, you know, my students, like it's not it's not situation specific. It's like your worldview. What do you believe in? Do you believe that bad things are always happening and that there's always stress and tension and that you're just kind of fucked? Then like you're gonna get that. If you believe that everything is always working out for you and that there's a bigger plan and that your job is to do the best you can in every given moment, reminding yourself of that when you feel however you feel will help you shift out of it.
Gotcha.
That's what your belief system is about the world and how things work, you know? So examining what those are, you know, if you feel like you're always getting hammered, you're gonna start seeing everything through that lens.
That makes sense. It's like when I'm driving around and I'm like, man, I really want a new Jeep. All I see is new Jeeps on the road. Probably no more than usual, but it's because I'm thinking you want a new Jeep. I don't want a new Jeep. Like I like my Jeep. I don't want another payment. That's what it is. But
yeah,
I understand. I'm just trying to like make more sense in my own head with it. Yeah.
So what you focus on expands, and so our brains are designed to ideally we'd be focusing on things that were giving us a return that were really great for us.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that also works in the opposite. So if we're focusing on the things that we don't want or that we're afraid of or that are causing stress, our lens is turned to that, and we start seeing more supporting evidence for all of that.
Gotcha.
This is happening again. I knew it. And then we're self-fulfilling prophecies that way because our brains and our bodies are designed to like bring in what we want or what we think about most. That's what it is.
That makes sense. It's like during election years, you see a whole lot of divide because people are only wanting to see one thing, so their brain is shifting to just that. That makes sense.
They're amazing machines that way. But if you learn how to control the focus, then you start seeing all the things that you want to see and more of those. But if you're not careful where your mind wanders, then
I just need to stretch.
Yeah, breathing and stretching. And keeping your nervous system calm is the first part, and that's why like with meditation and stretching and all that, you can create anything, and you're more likely to be able to focus on what you want from a calm place. When we're not like in panic mode. Panic mode will not yield anything creative or good.
Panic mode sucks.
Yeah.
My dad always told me growing up, he's like, if you run around with your pants on fire, nothing's going to get fixed.
Nothing.
Because you're going to be too busy putting the fire out.
That's 100% of it.
Right?
Yeah.
And like if your pants were on fire and you got in a car wreck, you know, that doesn't fix anything at the moment. Like, relax, calm down, assess the situation.
And recognize too, some people, if you've, you know, behaved in a way where you're used to the pressure and you're used to responding to that and the tension, and that's how you get motivated and get things done, it takes time to switch out of that as like your default role. So typically people that are used to operating that way, once one fire is put out, they start another to motivate themselves for the next thing. You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, I fixed this over here and I got calm about it and that disappeared. Well, now your focus is on the next fire instead of switching like your entire perception of it. Where everything will get done in its due time. The most important job you have is keeping yourself calm and centered and grounded.
Makes sense.
And things will flow. You know?
I do now.
Yay! And that is how I get out of ruts.
Rut getting out of 101.
Yeah.
With Katie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. I don't know. I think I knew, but I didn't want to admit it because I just got so much going on. I feel I put pressure on myself.
You used to be motivated that way.
Yeah.
You know, self-motivating through like, well, I have pressure. It's, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not a fun way to motivate yourself, and it doesn't. You know, I always say that fear is faster. So a lot of bosses use that tactic too.
Yeah.
Fear is faster to get you to the end result, but the journey's gonna suck. And if it sucks and you spend most of your time in the journey, then what's the point of any of it?
I think, you know, a lot of like past jobs, prior to starting my own, but a lot of past jobs, it's just like in marketing, you're relying on people to get you a lot of information. Mm-hmm. So when they wait until the last minute to get it to you, you're forced to work like your pants are on fire.
Yeah.
And you have to rush and get it done, and you accomplish it. And it's not your best work, but it's not bad either, right? So it happens again and it happens again, and after a few times, it becomes the way you work, you know. And I think my past couple of jobs were like that, whereas I would need the information or last minute, hey Jensen, we need this from you.
Yeah. And
then it's just like, well, if you've known about this for 2 months, why didn't you tell me 2 months ago?
Right.
Kind of thing. So it just became, I guess, a habit.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I've always known, but I just got used to being in those situations.
Yeah.
And now it's not working. Now that I'm doing my own thing, it doesn't work. So when I'm up and putting pressure on myself, it's not working because I think
that was never your jam.
Internally, I know that it's going to play out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think remembering to like starting to switch the focus to how you approach working out intuitively, listening to yourself is going to be huge. You know, it's just removing kind of like the more personal attachment to it and being like, well, how do I feel?
Yeah.
What's going to help me get to where I need to be? Do that, and then you'll get there. As opposed to like when you're really tied to something or it's stressful or fearful, like you're this close to it, and what you need to be is this close, and then you'll know what to do. You got to get that distance, and that comes from getting calm, getting present.
Bigger picture.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah.
That was good.
Rut busting.
Yep, rut busting. Episode 2.
Yeah.
Rut busting. That was good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think this is value for a lot of people.
I hope so, yeah.
Heck yeah. Because I know plenty, like, I mean, what started this was one of my old students contacting me, right? So there are plenty of people that fall into this.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, like, being conscious about it, like, being aware. And I'm pretty sure, like, I'll need to be reminded, so I'll probably listen to this over again.
I mean, I will too.
You know, because we go, everything's great, and then you hit a wall. And then that old thought process kicks in because you're at that wall and you didn't step away to look how to get around it.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. So there's this trainer, Ben Bergeron, he's a CrossFit trainer. He was explaining to some of his athletes when you hit the wall, right? He's like, it's kind of like you're underneath a giant lake of ice and you're pounding the ice to get out and you can't. Like there's no way you can get out. It's impossible. You're going to drown. You're just going to be there screaming, yelling, pounding on the ice. But if you swim down and then look back up, you'll see the hole in the ice, and then you can get out. So all the time you waste here, wow.
Yeah.
And that was like that was a fitness conversation. I never applied it to the other side of me, the business.
Yeah.
I never applied that, but it makes so much sense.
Exactly.
Just kind of back away and that's great.
And remember that, like, when you hit the wall, like, something's triggering you, so then you default into, like, old thought patterns.
Yeah.
And triggers just make you forget. They make you forget. Like, oh my god, I'm back to where I was, and now I feel... You're not. You're exactly where you have been. Nothing's undone, but it's just remembering, like, something's throwing me off here. Why am I having this response to this? Calm yourself down. Yeah. Yay!
Awesome.
Episode 2.
We're done?
Yeah.
We never introduced ourselves, though.
That's okay.
Yeah. They know us by now?
Yeah.
That's Katie.
Probably. Jensen.
Holdingspace.org. KatieKowaleski.com.
Jensen Hendricks.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
See you next time. That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Hopefully the mic worked.
Oh, yeah.
It's plugged in.
Oh, man, that would be so sad.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Holy shit.
We can check it though.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know that I could redo that.
I know we can't.
I mean, not like
That was way too
not
candid.
authentically. Yeah.